Okay, Gemini, it is your turn. I am going to talk a lot about the astrology of 2024. Going to talk more about that in the extended, but I am going to start out with it here. I want to give you some themes, okay? Themes about what's going to be going on for you in 2024. And there's a couple things that are pretty universal to everybody. First thing I want to say to you is 2024 is going to be fast. Fast. Mostly because planets are moving into air signs and they're moving out of earth signs. So we're moving out of Capricorn, we're moving into Aquarius. Pluto is doing that. Pluto, I will talk about that right now. But later on in 2024, we have Jupiter entering your sign of Gemini, and that's going to be a big deal. So we'll talk about that in the extended. But the first thing I want to talk about is Pluto. I've been talking about Pluto all year. Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008. And what happened? Anybody remember? Right. Banks fell off a cliff. Banking crisis. Big deal. All right. It was moving into Capricorn. Capricorn is the energy of rules and regulations, and things that are unsustainable cannot continue. Tower moment. Boom. Right. That's why we got the banking crisis. We are now having Pluto has gone all the way through Capricorn. It's now at the 29th degree as I'm making this at the end of December and into January. It is at the 29th degree, the anaretic degree, the very last degree. And what happens there is the shadow of the sign comes out. The shadow is about power and domination and control and top-down management structures and governments and hierarchical ways of doing things. You know, like if you're not the lead sled dog, you're always got the same view kind of a world. We're moving into an Aquarian kind of world, Age of Aquarius. Earlier this year, from March through June, we had Pluto moved into Aquarius just for a little bit. So if you keep a journal, gold star on you, go back and take a look and see what happened back in March, April, May, and into June. What was going on for you? What was happening? That was the energy of Pluto in Aquarius. So now Pluto is going into Aquarius January 20th. It's going to be in Aquarius until September, and then it's going to wobble again back into Capricorn until November 19th, and then boom, back in Aquarius for the next 20 years, till 2043 or something like that. So whatever happened earlier this year is going to give you a little bit of a preview. And Capricorn, it depends on what's going on in your life. No, it doesn't depend on what's going on in your life. It is falling in a certain house in your birth chart, and that is going to show you what themes are going to be activated. So for you, Gemini, you have Capricorn in the 8th house. Wow. That means total transformation. So the person you were in 2008 and the person that moves into Pluto and Aquarius in 2023 are essentially very different people. What is transforming you is the energy of the 8th house is about hidden knowledge, secrets, stuff we don't talk about in public or in polite company, things that go on behind the scenes. Think of it as like a house. And the 8th house is like the secret room. All right. It's the stuff of shame, but also the things that terrify us. It's death, it's taxes, it's transformational energy of going from one kind of life to another kind of life, coming out of the closet, things like that. It's the kind of things that we're afraid to talk about, or we're afraid of bringing on our end. So that's why taxes is in there. Also, in-laws are in there. If you want to see what goes on in a marriage, don't look at the 7th house in a chart. Look at the 8th house. That's the secret room. It's the stuff that's really happening. So Pluto has been in this house since 2008. A lot of marriages, if you got married during that time, a lot of those marriages started out as affairs, secrets. There was some kind of big secret, or there is some kind of big secret. And what's going on now is Pluto is going to move in to Aquarius, to the sign of Aquarius, which is completely different from Capricorn. It's much more about how we're all connected. It's the energy, the essence of a reality about if I hurt somebody else, I'm also hurting myself. There's like a real visceral awareness of that. And it's hidden. It is a lot about esoteric knowledge, tarot, astrology, mediumship, connection with the beyond, UFOs, all kinds of stuff like that are in the 8th house. Now, Aquarius is in your 9th house. Okay? So 9th house is the house of truth. It's Sagittarian-esque. It's like Sagittarius is a program running in the background because you have Aquarius in that house. But that house has themes that are related to Sagittarius, which is about truth. The truth. Empirically, the truth. Okay? And what do I believe? And if I started out this whole situation as a secret or as something that was a shameful thing or something went on behind the scenes, now like the truth is all going to come out because Pluto is like, boom, flip the table, right? Pull off the tablecloths. Let's see what's underneath there. Let's see what we got. Take off the siding. What's really going on with this house? Woo! It's like what's happening behind the scenes. So Pluto is likely to push you into an awareness or a way of being that says, I only operate when I have the truth. Nothing can be hidden from me anymore. Okay, if there's a relationship issue here, if there's any kind of secrets, like you might become pretty fanatical about the truth. And this may be a situation that transforms that relationship for better or for worse. Depends on where the other person has Capricorn and Aquarius in their chart. That would be worth looking at. Okay, this can also show up in terms of, a situation in your life that you have kept to yourself. And then you become that more publicly because the 9th house, we're talking about something that's at the top of your chart. It's like very public. It can be seen very publicly. So we're having those themes happening. And also your ruling planet is Mercury. We are in a Mercury retrograde right now as I speak. And so I'll be talking a lot more about the Mercury retrograde, Capricorn into Sag, right? Going backwards, Capricorn into Sag. Planet's not really going backwards, just moving slower. But like it seems slower. It seems backwards to you. Like when we're looking in the sky, it seems backwards because we're going faster on this planet. It's slowed down. Okay. So there is this, with Mercury in retrograde happening at the end of this year, it goes direct on the 1st of January in 2024. So I'm not really going to talk about it too much, but I do want to say something to you about this, that Capricorn energy, where Mercury is starting out, is about the rules. And Mercury is about a message. What message are you giving about the rules or how we work with this relationship or how we do life? If there's secrets, okay? If there's things that, we have like an agreement about what this is, but there could be a lot of things that show up, when Mercury starts moving back into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the truth. When Mercury starts working its way back into Sagittarius, and there's like hold on here. There's a blast of the truth. So a lot of what you're dealing with, Gemini, is the truth, okay, in 2024. The truth you tell yourself, or are you telling yourself lies? Are you a stickler for some kind of truth that someone's not telling you? Okay, we'll go through all of it, but let's start this reading. Oh my God, like 10 minutes in. Let's start this reading and I will talk tarot with you. Let's see what messages want to come through, what is going to be happening in 2024. In the extended, I'll do more of the astrology like I just started to do. And I will continue the tarot reading. I'll pull a card for each month so you can kind of understand the energy of that month. Okay? All right, let's see where we go here. What is going on for Gemini, please? What is going on for Gemini? Fulfill your destiny as a cosmic change maker. I like that. Your effortless effort is fully required. Abundance headed your way. Oh, that's awesome too. And bloom where you're planted. This is something about something coming to fruition, like something coming to a head. Some kind of success is really being bestowed upon you. Some kind of abundance. You don't have to do anything. This is effortless effort and bloom where you're planted. To be a cosmic change maker, you don't really have to do anything. You've put everything in play, right? Like everything is as it should be. Okay. So everything is as it should be. And let's see here. What is going on for Gemini, please? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for 2024. So far looking pretty good here. Bloom where you're planted. It's like anchoring yourself. Having Capricorn in that 8th house is a bit of a challenge, but we'll talk through it. Okay, King of Wands, the Fool. These are the cards that are underneath. The Two of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, the Hierophant, and the 10 of Cups. I like that. Oh, okay. There's an 8 of Cups. Here's Sagittarius energy. All right. So there's something about, for you, Gemini, I feel like someone has made a decision to walk away from a connection. Someone has made a decision to walk away to be happy, okay? To be fully who they are, to be fully what they want to be in this life. This person could be walking toward you. All right. There's a person walking toward you, probably a Sag. I'm seeing Sag, Taurus. Yeah, Sag or Taurus. And this is somebody who is like really ready for happiness. The Hierophant. I feel like you might have had somebody walk away from you at one point. So it's almost like who's walking away, who's coming in? Are you walking away? Something like that. Why is this all weird? Okay. There's something that whatever is static in your life, whatever hasn't grown, whatever has become stagnant, there needs to be a walking away. So I'm going to say this to you. Like, this could be a job or something like that, where if you don't grow at a certain career, if you don't feel like your job there's anything growth about it, growth oriented, either the money or the opportunity to learn new things or to contribute to new projects, then it just gets gross, like a pond that doesn't have any air in it, right? It just gets gross. And so in terms of your action, it's almost like you have to walk away to get what you want. You have to, like in a job interview, they ask you how much money that you want. And you say, this job is worth this. And then shut up. And they're like, oh my God, that's like twice what we were going to offer, whatever. You're like, fine. Here's my number. When you figure out that this job is worth this amount of money for your company, 10, 20, 50 times that you'll be reaping from my efforts, give me a call. There's something like that. Like, you have to walk away from the table in order to get what you want. You're showing up as the Knight of Swords. Truth. That's the truth. Lots of truth coming through here. Ace of Swords. Opportunity. 5 of Swords. This is not a delicate moment. This is kind of like one of those times when you can't unsee it. All right. Strength. Whoopsie. Queen of Cups. That was challenging. Strength, Queen of Cups, King of Cups. Wow. Judgment. There's some kind of truth coming through to you that says, I only want the real deal. I only want the real deal. I don't want it to be some kind of half-assed expression of love. I don't want it to be some kind of job where I'm having to cobble it together. I don't want to have 2 or 3 jobs to make the money that I need. That's ridiculous. I want to be paid for my services. I want to have the love in my life that is fulfilling and meaningful to me. There's no half measures. Not no more. Not no more, there's not, right? Share. So, 7 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, 8 of Swords, High Priestess. This is an inner knowing. You know this. It's harder to do than it is to think it. But I also feel like Mercury retrograde right now at the end of 2023, maybe bringing in this awareness. You have to be aware of it. And I almost feel like you haven't been that aware of it. You've been this Queen of Pentacles. You're like, well, it's fine. Not fine. It's fine. It's not fine. Okay? Not fine. Because it's this. It's 4 of Cups. And so 8 of Cups. Unless I get my best in terms of love, in terms of money, in terms of relationships, in terms of whatever, I'm just not doing it anymore. That's a deal breaker. Okay? So there's some kind of truth that you wake up to before we even get into the year. There's some kind of truth you wake up to that says, you know what? I'm pissed off about this. I'm angry about this. And I would suggest that before you go running off and be crazy about it to a boss or to a spouse or anything like that, opportunity is to like, hold up. Hold up. Okay? We're going to talk more about how you figure out astrologically when you want to do this, because you do not want to go barging in before Christmas to your boss and like lay him out. Okay. You do not want to do that to a spouse. This almost feels like a January, February kind of thing. January, February, March. So we'll talk more about that in the extended. This is on track as a fated, destined effort to get you out of being stuck. 8 of Swords and 7 of Cups. It's like pillar to post, I think my mother used to call it. I'm confused. And then I'm shutting myself off from the truth. Why am I so confused? I'm shutting myself off from the truth. When Mercury is in retrograde, it's like some kind of truth that wants to come up from your subconscious. So pay attention to your dreams. Absolutely pay attention to your intuition. There's a truth that's trying to come up. And if you've said that, I'm confused, but I don't want to see the truth. And you know it. You might not admit it. If this is you and you don't want to see the truth, that's why you're in this energy of stagnation. Because what you're telling yourself, the story you're telling yourself, is not fitting the story of reality, the story of other people involved, or what's going on right in front of you. For some reason, there's a sense of malaise. And what happens is anger. I don't want to be taken advantage anymore. Okay? Advantage of anymore. Not doing it. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee this. You can't go back into your lack of awareness. Okay? So I'm going to continue on with this reading. I'll pull some cards for each month. We'll see where we go. And I'll continue on with the astrology and give you some answers about how to figure out what to do. Okay? All right. Link is below, Gemini. I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.